issue of a game with Manchester City on Wednesday, and looking at the team that...
In Balaidos, of course, next weekend, Celta Vigo are Deportivo's next opponents in the Galician derby.
I'm sorry to taste. But who obviously missed a couple of weeks as well with a knee injury before the international break. I think it'll be, I'm not saying a shoe-in, but certainly have a good chance of being first game of the week in the Champions League.
Do you think that's one reason Messi and Iniesta are indeed on the bench today with one eye on that game?
I think Iniesta's getting a bit of a rest, but I just don't think he wants to risk Leo Messi from the start.
As a very wide winger, Barca looking with a line of 5 as Neymar picks it up down the left flank. Close down quickly, stop the ball going out on that far side. Rafinha now clips it across and off the underside of the bar from Neymar, and then headed over from Luis Suarez over the goal line, clearly onside.
No offside. Neymar just very relaxed about it. Doesn't cross the line, obviously. No offside against Suarez either.
Inside, Rakitic flicking it, and Barca really having to work their way out of their own half here. Neymar doing well, but just loses out to...
Just about that. He's never said which way he'd vote, and he's made a point of that.
Free kick now, and it's obviously you can tell when the internationals are on, it can be a slow news week, and the way that it's holding up the game, the treatment on that far side. There's the replay of the foul as Neymar just had his legs clipped by Mosquera.
It's very clear foul by Mosquera. Football as there is, actually. He is very smart.
Juan Carlos Puyol, another who's been tipped to return at some point in the future. At this present moment, it's Neymar, who's Mr. Sanchez Martinez. Neymar from 25 yards. Just over the bar onto the roof of Herman Lux's net. Perhaps an early sighter from the Brazilian. The way of the knock that he did receive on international duty. The plaster that remains just above the right eye of Neymar. Just got it up and over the 5-man Depor wall. Defenders back there doing the defensive work for Luis Enrique's side. Now Neymar on the left, given time and space by Laura.
Should know how to move the ball around. Jeremy Mateo, when he first came to Spain with Valencia, was a left-sided midfielder who could also play in a central role. So it's not as if these are like...
Scoreline, unless Depor decide to push out. Or indeed do lose their focus. Neymar all the way across. Rafinha looking for options again. Neymar trying the 1-2.
But it's not very much a free rein.
He's now almost in the centre of the park next to Gerard Piqué as the Barca number 3 finds Neymar. Arda now pushing up. Inside, Neymar collecting the ball midway inside the Depor half, and even you can see here he's having problems just looking for
front of the defence as well if they wanted him to. But one of the big talking points about the day is, despite having Sergio Roberto injured, is basically Luis Enrique's squad. Alex Vidal, who they signed from Sevilla just over a season ago, and just looks to be very, very...
5 players attacking the area. The cross is a good one. It's to the head of Piqué from point-blank range, and then turned in. And it's Rafinha again.
Let's have a look. Well, question of offside, perhaps. This doesn't really clear very much up for us, does it? Whether or not Rafinha... Obviously, they've got Iniesta and Messi who could come off the bench. Whereas Depor, well, they're doing what they can, really.
They are really, as Neymar gets the cross in, headed away. The Galicians probably hoping that Luis Enrique leaves his arrival as late as possible. Neymar flicking it down.
Sunday.
So a tight schedule for Luis Enrique's side. Paco Alcácer, who's...
Oh, lovely.
Luis Enrique! And Luis Suarez finds the bottom corner of the net. A flowing move opened up the Depor back line. And Luis Suarez...
2, but I think 3-0. It's going to be really, really, really difficult. Lovely, lovely dummy from Suarez to sell Albentosa completely down the river. And just a low finish. Once again, nothing that Lux can do.
No, very good first touch. See his movement there, and he gets himself back on side. And that touch there, I think they will be slightly concerned. And Just hoping that in the second half. Scored 2 goals already this afternoon. Rafinha doing some great defensive work there to stop the visitors from breaking, and they're on the defensive once more as Neymar flicks it in.
Depor are shot right now. That third goal has just absolutely killed them.
Maybe there will have to be a slight change in plan from Geiske. And whilst, of course, goal difference doesn't count. To have Garitano as the new coach. Whether or not he survives the entire season will, of course, depend on Depor's form, especially away from home, improving.
Well, I think the fact is in some ways, I mean, you've got to realise that Depor haven't spent any money. Hang on a second.
Rafinha just had the ball taken off his foot there by Neymar, ricocheted up and off.
Spent any money. They lost their best player, Lucas, right on the edge by Garitano by saying, yeah, okay, you're not suspended, but this is one of you for you to think about.
Neymar does exceptionally well to get it out from the left-back position. Makes his way up and into midfield before just having his Elche before joining Deportivo last year. Came up through the ranks with Real Madrid, didn't make the grade.
They've scored a screaming winning goal today for Seville, away to Leganés, if you haven't seen it. Sevilla's first away win in La Liga since May 2015.
And Rafinha on a hat-trick, maybe slightly unfair to consider withdrawing him. And that ball in, looking for Alcácer, who's had very little to do.
Paco Alcácer, he's a striker who will come into the game, will touch the ball 3 times and score twice, whereas the other Barca players are all a little bit more babble, and of course it is. 29 years old now. Player who really looked really promising when he first.
In the centre of midfield, Messi up just behind Alcácer there as the attack continues. A through ball, and Messi already in, and he's already scored his 17th career goal against Deportivo.
Basically, lovely pass. Great move, and look, almost telepathic understanding there. as between Neymar and Messi. It's brilliant ball, and just the pace of the Argentinian, and the finish then to sort of put the ball high into the net when maybe, which is obviously when the keeper was thinking he's going to try and put that low, fools him on the near post. But this is outstanding from Neymar as well, but that just shows the understanding that they have. Doesn't it? It's something that perhaps has been missed. Into the 6-yard area, headed away by Piqué, and now Neymar will look to try and break, and he does, as the stumble allows the Brazilian to move forward out wide to this right. Perhaps if there had been a runner down his right-hand side rather than the three over the far, he might have tried to find them up in the shape of Andone and Babel, deciding just to see if they can nick a goal themselves to restore a slight amount of pride to the scoreline. Almost at eye level with the pitch. Not the best view from the dugout, but 11th in the all-time classification in the Primera. That's before the break, and then of course Lionel Messi coming off the bench to add a 4th goal with an exquisite finish. Someone's in trouble. Laura it was who was across there, and it's a red card for the Deportivo. He does eventually appear. There's the first challenge from Laura. Gets up. He has put a bit, I don't know if he's hit him that hard, but he's definitely put an elbow on him. And it's raised, he's looking to make the contact, isn't he? It's, yeah, I think... Back to Rakitic. Rakitic trying to pull the strings and find an opening. Neymar now looking for options. Alcacer in between the central defenders. Easy win after what happened in Vigo. To be honest, I don't think, however, this solves or really answers many of the questions that were raised by some of Barcelona's defeats this season. You know, this doesn't really answer the question about the Barca defence, because they simply haven't really had to defend at all. We'll learn a lot more, I think, against Manchester City, and next Saturday again. Final 18.5 minutes or so, plus what the referee adds on, as Piqué into the area, straight to the keeper. We're seeing Piqué playing almost as a centre forward in these last few minutes, and they also get the impression that they're trying to set up Alcacer for his opening goal, and that with almost every player back on the edge of the area as Neymar breaks, and he's just eased out of it by Fernando Navarro, who's not too happy with the Brazilian's arms going up, but as I say, Fernando Navarro really putting in a bit of a shift in the last few minutes to say a player who had a season time ago. Certainly was. He spent 8 seasons with Sevilla. Now Neymar flicking it back to the edge of the area to find. The fact that they're down at 10 men, they're obviously tiring now, and there's gaps appearing between the defence and the midfield. Another ball that he became so accustomed to receiving at Valencia. But you see, maybe at Valencia, and he is going to need time to adapt to it. At Valencia, the move was more fluid. Neymar now down the left, and Navarro, his opponent once again. Of course, after losing in the last round against Celtic, the shot from Neymar whizzes over the bar. Three. Defence to try and ward off Barca, but Neymar thought about going from distance. He makes his way along the edge of the area, tries to flick it over for... Really have an English translation. It's Guardiola coming back to the camp now, if you can imagine, is Morbo. The real excitement and interest. Great save. He denied Paco Alcacer a few minutes ago. Gets up well over the top, and that will be off. Neymar's ball in. Don't think that is offside, to be fair. Remember a save from Ter Stegen, which is borne out by those stats there. 11 shots on target for Barca and not 1 for Depor. Neymar just edging away and pulling it back, and Mosquera was well positioned. Go across to take the corner. Superb control there from Neymar just to pull the ball down. And here he is trying to get past Fernando Navarro, does so. Between 97-98 and the 2003-04 campaign, Depor beat Barca no less than 8 times in 11 meetings. Neymar and out. Discussions going on. Yes. it's not really well served by public transport. It's not as well served as it could be, the Barca ground.
No, the thousands that do live in and around the city, many of those do come on the mopeds or the motos, but Fernando Navarro none too happy about that. See here exactly what he did.
Might just catch him a little bit of substitutions. Saying that, one of the substitutions was Leo Messi's. So the only disappointments for Barca is that they haven't scored a fifth, still might do, and that Paco Alcácer has not managed to get his name on the scoreboard.